Hey guys, today we're working on setting up a tank and I really wanted to share this with you guys. Now, what's cool about this tank is we're setting this up today, Sunday the 28th. Yesterday I set up another tank, so we're going to be able to compare them over time. And this one I reset the exact way that I've been doing my stuff with the Vin bacteria bag, Vin bacteria powder. And so other than that, I'm also using a Vin GH remineralizer. These are the products that I've been using for years now. What's cool about this is we're gonna set it up a new way, and I really want to share that with you. All right, so this is what we're using that's different. We're using a reset basket by Shrimp Sanctuary. We're using his GH Plus salt product. I'm not making an in-depth video on that, but I will in the future to just to compare the TDS to GH ratio. And we're also going to be using one of his new Calyx balls. We'll be using one of these to essentially help biofilm grow in the tank, help feed the ammonia in the tank and the bacteria in the tank. And so we'll see how long it takes to cycle. I'm using Tropica Soil. I've been using this for about 5 months now. I've got it in every tank in the living room and it's been doing great. pH under 6, really stable. It looks great. So that's what we're using. And normally about 4 weeks or so, it does release quite a bit of ammonia. Maybe not as much as ADA Amazonia, but it still releases a good amount of ammonia. And so what I've been measuring is that normally about 4 to 5 week mark, there's completely no ammonia left. After that, with minimal water changes, I start water changes at 4 weeks, and after that, pretty much 5th week, it's good to go. I have been waiting about 6 weeks to get some shrimp in there, but really for the 5 week mark is a good mark. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to be adding a liter of soil into this. We're also going to add some soil here. I just don't want to leave it bare. Maybe half a liter. We'll just throw half a liter here. Then we'll add the Calyx ball on there. And we'll essentially see how it directly compares to this one a month in. But really today I wanted to show you guys using the products, and then I'll make another video showing the results. And ultimately I'll be able to just keep making videos comparing these two tanks. Alright, so one of the first things I wanted to do is fill it outside of the water. The reason being, I want to see how well it holds the soil. I'm using medium-sized pellets, 3 to 5 millimeters. I'm not sure of the size of these holes, but I'm assuming some of it's going to fall out just because there's always some smaller size pellets in the soil. But let's try to get a liter of soil in here. It's supposed to hold exactly 1 liter. We're going to zero this out. So 1 liter in US conversion should be about 2.2 pounds. So let's get that in here. We can already see some pellets fall out. But I'm assuming with weight and once it's in the water, it should be a little bit better. So it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to fit an entire liter of soil in here. It's already pretty packed. And it's close to a liter. Maybe we move it around a bit. But I don't want to pack it in there either. It should just be, I don't want to pack it in there because we don't need much more to go. So let's see if we can get it in there. Yeah, no. I don't feel comfortable getting too much more in there. We'll leave it at that. It's very close, about 3 ounces away from a liter. And it's pretty packed. That much soil fell off, which is not that crazy, but it's probably some smaller pellets. Let's get it in the tank and see how it looks. Alright guys, so it's time to get it in the tank. So like I mentioned, it's very short of a liter, just slightly short of a liter. Let's see what it looks like once it gets in the water. So as you guys can see, the current is right, the flow and some of the current of the water, it's right there. So it's kind of like pushing the soil already. So you can definitely see it like some of the dust just going everywhere. So I feel like it's in a really great place. I am gonna tighten this in the back though. So this is definitely an alternative to under gravel filter box, which a lot of people use. I've tried to use it in the back. In the past. I didn't have a good experience with it. I also didn't have a very good pump to go with it, so that might have been a big reason why. Obviously, I upgraded my pump now. Everything's a lot easier. The flow on most of my tanks is a lot better. I really like that, you know, the only downside is I don't think I'd be able to use it on this other tank since I have them just so close to the other tanks. I'm not sure if by setting it in the backside I'd be able to use it. But for sure these side tanks I'd be able to use it on. So far it looks really clean. I do think it's getting a lot of flow there. Whenever I added it into the water, you guys can see there a few pellets fell off. I think I stuffed it a little bit too much, but I'd rather have a little bit more than not enough. So now I'm gonna add some soil down here at the calyx ball and just let it cycle. But I really wanted to show you guys that. One of my concerns, obviously, let's talk about that real quick. One of my concerns is what happens whenever the soil starts breaking down over time, maybe after a year. So that's really one thing I want to keep an eye on. And is the soil just gonna keep falling from the basket as well? You know, I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't. I mean, once it turns into dust, the bottom layer of soil is just being crushed by the weight of the soil on top. So is that gonna crush it and just have a bunch of dust down here? Do I have to keep vacuuming that out? I mean, it's just, these are all questions that I don't know of because I first time using it. So I definitely want to answer those questions for you guys. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Let me get some soil down here. The thing about this soil that I've been really liking, is that I've been able to just fill the tanks, throw the soil in there after, and it clears up right away. So I'm gonna do that right now. All right, so this is what I'm getting in the tank. It's only about a quarter liter. I think I've been saying half a liter, a quarter liter. There's a liter in there and a quarter liter just going here in the tank. Let me just move this light out the way. And we're just gonna toss it in here. So it doesn't look like much, but I think it'll get the job done. Maybe I should add just a tiny bit more, or maybe I'm just being OCD about it, but I'll keep an eye on it. Let me just fix it up a little bit and get the calyx ball in there. All right, guys, so it's been a few minutes. I ended up adding a little bit more soil. We got about half a liter of soil down here, which theoretically should never have to be swapped out if we're swapping that out. Now that's gonna make it easy for resets. It's I could just do maybe a 50% water change a year from now. Take that out, get a new one in there, fill it back up, and hopefully that'll make resets a little bit faster. And the tank just looks a lot cleaner. I'm gonna get some Anubias in here. The tank's gonna look really clean. We're gonna add a calyx ball right in the center of the soil. That's gonna get this full of biofilm. It's gonna help the tank cycle. So as you guys can see, the setup is very minimal, very minimal. There's nothing in here other than soil. A really fish keeping method type, right? So all that we're using is that. It's gonna cycle the tank. We're gonna wait about a month. We're gonna be comparing it to this. This video might leave you with more questions than answers. But the whole point of this is we're going to figure these things out together. I really want to see if this method will help me out, if it's something that I want to start using in most of my tanks, because right now I don't use anything like that. And if it does, then obviously we'll incorporate that into the other tanks. And if not, I mean, I don't see any downsides to this so far. Like I said, I did have a few questions about, I mean, maybe we couldn't get a whole liter in there, which is fine because we still have some soil in here, and we don't need that much soil in the tanks. I use a liter to a liter and a half in my tanks already, so that's pretty much all you need in a 10-gallon tank. Obviously, if you have bigger or smaller tanks, you can just, you know, use less or more depending on how big the tanks are. I will keep you guys updated. So far, I really like it. It's super clean. The flow is really hitting that soil. basket, and you guys can see just how many holes are in the basket. So another thing that we're also going to do in a few weeks, we're going to compare pH. Is it buffering the same as this tank buffers? Same soil. Remember, same soil on these two tanks. Tropical soil on both. It should be under 6 pH. So we're gonna compare, and if it does, and also we'll be comparing like a few months in, like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. We'll compare the pH, and if it keeps buffering the same as this one. So I hope you guys like that. This video, I mean, I know it's not the end result, but I hope you guys, if you guys are into this type of testing and stuff, I do a lot of testing. I experiment with a lot of soil. I talk with my hands a lot, as you guys can tell too. But so we'll do a lot of that in this channel. So and I do this so you don't have to. Hopefully we get you some answers. I'll see you guys soon. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. And Shrimp Sanctuary, Bennett, if you happen to watch this video, if I had any questions you might have the answers to, feel free to comment down below. I appreciate you sending these over. I'm really, really interested in trying this. I'll see you guys soon.